Hello, good people. Welcome to another episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. And I see we are live. So let's get into it. Welcome, guys. Only 1 hour tonight. I'm going to repeat that probably throughout this hour. Some people are going to come in late, Smitty. They're going to say, hey, what you guys are doing? I didn't know you was going to have a show. I get it, but we keep telling y'all, man, if you really want to know what's happening with us and or the show, you must follow us on Twitter because we will make announcements. I told everybody earlier today it would be a 1 hour show. We had some life situations come up, just regular stuff I had to knock out really quick, but I still wanted to get to a show. So we're here now, 1 hour from 9, hard stop at 10, and y'all know what we're going to talk about. It's already in the title. We want to talk about Madden 20 Superstar and X Factor abilities. As the question is posed there, why are we complaining? That's the question. Why are we complaining? And me and Smitty, we'll definitely discuss that. I believe we have 205 wants to come on for a moment. And tonight, guys, we're going to be quick. So, we'll take a call here and there, but, you got to keep it to a minimum because we're really not going to be on for long. So we'll have you come in for a hot second. And after that, we'll get back to whatever we was doing. And really quick, Smitty, before we get started, quick update, guys. I know I had said that maybe we would go back to having video where you guys could see us. Because some Dad said we complaining because ain't no mouthpieces. Yeah, some of you guys said that you want to see us for whatever reason, instead of listen. So I had planned to bring video back. However, I have learned that OBS, Skype, or I don't know whose fault it is, but I think OBS now doesn't necessarily capture desktop applications. That's what I'm finding out from a lot of people. So if you have a Skype app or whatever else, and you use the window capture, it's a black screen. And I've been told that is an OBS thing. So I don't know how I will be able to bring Smitty and our ugly mugs to you guys. I do not want to use Hangouts. Hangouts is too unreliable. We've done that in the past, as well as we don't have as much control over, your pictures, and, eventually we'll have things popping up in and out the stream, the round of applause. I can't do any of that in Hangouts. So just wanted to let y'all know that. But anyway, talking too much, being that we're only going to have an hour here. Smitty, let's jump right into it. Definitely, if you want to introduce, how your week and everything was, do that. But outside of that, man, let's dive into what's going on in this community.
Yeah, we just want to dive into it, man.
Yeah.
Week's good, everything's great. Let's swan dive into this.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. So let me do this. Let me do this real quick, and shout out to First and Frame Rates. I don't know, we may see DJ come through, we may see, Bills or VF come through, possibly, maybe not. But see, I was in the chat section and listen, it's simple. I was just telling Sim before we fired this up. Aaron Rodgers got dudes afraid. And this is the reality of it, okay? It's easy. EA is basically rewarding user play. So if you don't know how to use her that well and you're not comfortable with doing so, and what people keep bringing up is, well, you're saying if my DB is in position and he's able to make the play and he's got the hands for it and everything else, you're telling me he's just going to drop it? By the description it is, because you're letting the AI do the work. Hint, hint. So if your DB is in the position to make the pick, click on and hit the button. It's 2 button presses and go for the pick. And now if you come away with the pick, bam, it's over. If you slap the ball down, if you try to catch it, because DBs, as we all know, they're not as good as wideouts, if they end up dropping it, then that's it. They dropped it. But guess what? X Factor's done. It's over. What's even bigger than that, though, is that you can sack the quarterback. That takes him out. He can throw an errant pass and it's over. You see what I'm saying? So there are ways to stop it. But let's not sit up here and make this big old drummed out hubbub over it. Like, so you're telling me like we're sitting up here acting like we're not trying to figure out nuclear physics. It's simple. We're just talking about simple football function. And plus, Aaron Rodgers is a bad dang old man. I don't understand. You can look at some of Aaron Rodgers' best throws. I mean, wildest throws that he's completed. That's why his skill is gambler. It makes perfect sense. He's a gambler. He takes those risky passes that you usually wouldn't see a quarterback take, any quarterback take, and he makes the completion. Even in the teeth of defense, with the defender, I mean, on the guy, like on the wideout, like a cheap suit, and they'll still come away with the ball. Defender in their face and everything. But dudes want to be all extra with it. So I'm like, you know what? Simple and plain, turn the abilities off and play. Simple as that. But apparently me saying that now is a quote unquote, that's a corporate answer. Like, stop that.
I'm sick of that too, by the way.
That ain't, stop all that.
I don't work for EA. I'm sick of that too, by the way. But
miss me with that stuff, man.
Corporate
don't do
answer.
That. Don't do that. Don't do that corporate answer bullcrap. It's an option in there that you can turn the stuff on or turn the stuff off. And I DM'd them all and said, like, hey, look, I comment what I comment, not for you to like it anyway. I'm telling you what it is. I'm not sitting up here saying you gotta like what I have to say. I don't care how you feel about it. I got dudes heated and everything about it. Get mad. Get mad. Good. I'm glad you upset. You know what I'm saying? Get your user skills right and pick the pass off. Simple as that. Stop the play. That's it. Goodness gracious. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. That's the craziest thing. We acting like he's the only X factor to be worried about. Like, that's the crazy part about it. There are other people that people should be genuinely concerned about.
Brady.
Yeah, and like, we're sitting up here acting like Aaron Rodgers is the only one. And that's it. Like, oh, okay. All right. What about the pass rush that Sim tweets about every day and says don't nerf it? What about that? Well, what happens when you're dealing with Aaron Donald punching through your line, Khalil Mack roaring off the edge? Well, then now what's going to be said about that? Like, come on. Y'all worried about him? You think Aaron's the end game? Oh, okay. All right. Y'all that worried about that? I'm like, we got it. We have to chill with all this acting like there's only one way for everything, or oh, this is BS because he's able to do this. When Aaron Rodgers has literally done that, I don't know how many times over the years, right in the face of defense. And I'm not talking about just Hail Marys. I mean, he literally will slang the ball. Dude, what was it last year? Jalen Ramsey was on his back, pulling his jersey, and he flung it off balance. Defender was right on the receiver, and the receiver still came away with it. That sounds exactly like a gambler to me, because my man was dead to right. If he pulled his jersey any harder, he would have been sacked. My man still said, forget it, I'm going to let this thing fly. Defender draped on him and everything. Body out of position and all that, and just let it fly. Come on, dog. Seriously, that's why it's baffling to me how people are like this right now. And the thing is, my dudes played the beta, so it's not like they had no, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're just going off a description and that's it. They played the dang on beta, so they got to see a decent number of these cues. So come on, stop with this, seriously, because this is ludicrous. We going crazy over guys that are elite. They're elite for a reason. Like trying to make the point saying because in NBA, that's like saying in NBA 2K, because I got Andre Drummond under the rim and because he's a CPU AI controlled player, he shouldn't go up for the block unless I user him and block the shot myself. That's not even the same context. It's not even the same context. And that's why I always bring up the footsteps example in APF, because if I have a sure-handed elite wide receiver and he still comes away and he drops the ball because of footsteps, oh, that's justifiable. But when Aaron Rodgers does in real life performance stuff that directly correlates to that ability he has, oh, that's BS now? Like, no. No. If we're gonna say one is legit, then the other one is just legit. Aaron's proven it, and that's why things are the way they are in the game. It should be that way. So, nah, man. But I'll throw it to you, Sim. You know, whatever it is you wanna roll out with, man.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely going to address that. And just to break it up, just a quick side note. I want to respond to one or two of these comments, and then I'm going to pick up where Smitty left off. And like I said, guys, we'll only be on until 10 o'clock. Hard stop at 10. We're going to bring Alabama on in a moment as well. One guy says here, why did they take the referees off the field? I want to address that. I have mixed feelings about that. Shout outs to Eric Rayweather. I know he did a video with the top 5 things missing from Madden 20. It's funny because some of these things I was going to talk about as well. But pertaining to the referees, and Smitty's going to know exactly where I'm coming from with this one, is Clint basically said that the referees were kinda, what's the word he used? I can't remember the exact word. Basically saying they were an eyesore and they were detractors because they're ugly, they don't really do anything, blah, blah, blah. Here's my mixed bag reaction to that. I get it. It's all about gameplay. I could care less about everything else until gameplay is legit. Comma but, and this is a big comma but. Number one, I don't like when you remove things from the game. I hate that. I don't like that behavior. Number two, if they're detractors and they're ugly, okay, fix them. Make them better. Number three, and Smitty knows this, it just goes to show what Smitty and I say all the time, guys. They have to decide where to allocate time and resources. So I can almost guarantee that they don't have the time to make them pretty like they want them, according to what Clint's saying. And I'm not shaming Clint. I'm just saying, Smitty and I know that. We've seen times where they're like, well, we don't have the time to get to this. We'd rather just void it for now. And while we void it for now, we take it away so you don't have to look at the detractor. I get it, but I don't like that. Because if we're going to use that excuse, them sidelines been looking raggedy for the last 5 years. But I guarantee you that they can't take them people off the sideline because people would really be up in arms. So it kills me because I just hate the slow progression in which and how EA it produces Madden. And it's funny, guys. I got a video. I'm kind of talking about the slow progression that I'll probably release it later here tonight that I cut. And I'm kind of talking about that. It's kind of the way of the land with EA. And we have to accept it, unfortunately. But these things make me cringe because one would say, well, just make them look better. Make them more functional. But instead of taking the time to do that, they take them out. But then on the flip side of that, seeing behind the curtain, I know why they did it. Because they don't have the time, and they're not allotted the time to focus on things like that. And that, it just pisses me off. So that's just my mixed bag on that. The other thing really quick I wanted to talk about, where is it? It was another comment, Smitty, I wanted to hit on. I think I missed it. But anyway, I'll go into talking about these abilities.
Okay.
People, y'all should know how Smitty and I feel. I did an independent video about this, but I'm definitely going to share it here. Like I said in the previous video, I don't understand how we're finally getting to a point where EA is resembling making players play like themselves, act like themselves. Hey, and some people are actually animating like themselves. And now we upset about it. See, the Aaron Rodgers thing to me is twofold. My first opinion is, would we not consider somebody like Aaron Rodgers a gambler? I think, what's his name also has this trait, I think. Philip Rivers. I think he also has the gambler trait. When we look at football, who are the two guys that you think about sometimes just wing it and try to fit it in there? I can think about a third guy, but we can't give him but so many traits. And this guy might have this trait. I don't know. But Ben Roethlisberger gets a little gamblish sometimes too. But more importantly, I think about, oh, there goes that doggone Rivers. He gonna take a shot. You know who else? You might could even give it to Stafford here every now and then. Matt Stafford might give you one of those, and every now and then he'll bump his head too, and he'll just try to rely on that talented arm that he has.
Yeah.
But my point is, the trait is realistic to Aaron Rodgers. And that's the thing that has jumped off the table for me, Smitty, is these abilities and these traits and even the X factors so far from what I've seen. Final game isn't out yet, but from just reading material and from the beta, it is literally matching what these guys do. All of the abilities and traits make sense for that player. We've been asking for this for years. Why now are we upset? But everything has a flip side. I get it. Some people think it might be OP, yet to be determined. We do all have to experience that. But can we at least see first? Most people are going off of either the beta, which is a pretty good judge if you played it, but a lot of the people ain't even played it. They're just reading and saying, oh, that's not good. And then the other side of that, how long have we been talking about making people have to make plays themselves?
Yep.
And I get it. Some people are uncomfortable doing it. I get it. But to borrow Smitty's analogy, Smitty always says we have to adapt. We have to be willing to adapt to change. If you want that pick, and by the way, only when he's in that zone, then get it.
You know something, Sim? Going straight off that point. What if Aaron Rodgers, because you can check, like what Clint has said this on Twitter too, but this is a little heads up. You can check the progress somebody is to getting to their X factor by pulling up the coach cam. And it shows you in the corner, or their offense and defensively, whoever it is that has an X factor, how close they are to getting to it.
Yeah, I like that.
So let's say if Aaron Rodgers is 4 out of 5 passes, like he's 4 or 5, because he has to have 5 passes over 5 yards. So when he makes that 5th drop back and you bat the ball down, guess what ends up happening? Oh, got to reset it. Now, what if he gets 3 completions in a row? Then on that 4th one, your CPU AI picks the pass off. Then what? Y'all sitting up here worrying about when he gets into the hot spot. Y'all ain't even think. That's what I'm saying. It's like people are worried about the moment in time when he gets there. You're not even talking about the build up. What if he gets sacked? Reset, incomplete pass due to pressure. Reset, knock the ball down in the midst of him getting there. Reset, like it gets reset. So for guys that just want to use the D line and that's it, well, then there's something you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to evolve your skill. You know what? When it comes to playing Aaron Rodgers, because I feel so concerned about Aaron Rodgers' ability, I'm gonna learn how to use her a little bit. So sometimes I'm gonna play that secondary. Other times I won't worry about it, and I'll just hopefully generate pressure with my line and blitzes and such. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't do all of that. And that's the other thing too. Like I said earlier, if the D lineman is, if the DB, linebacker, safety, whatever, if they're in position to make the play, then click on and make the play. Take it away. X factor over. Or even if he's en route to getting there and you stop him, it's over. It's simple. So stop with all this excess. For real. And let me just say that. Let me just add this little bit on here too, because this is something I was just thinking about. What about in Fight Night? I know we've seen in Fight Night, Mike Tyson was brought in the game and all that stuff. What if they brought in Mike Tyson, the 20, the early 20-year-old, in his early 20s, when he was dropping everybody? What if they made him that elite in the game? Then I mean absolute tip-top prime Mike Tyson, where he's dropping everybody just like that. And then you play Fight Night. Man, I got Muhammad Ali and Okay, did he get to the inside? Did you let him get to the inside? Well, yeah. Did he hit you with that uppercut? Yeah, but he shouldn't have went down, though. But in Mike Tyson's tip-top prime, he was dropping dudes just like that. Well, exactly. That's it. You see what I'm saying? If they truly made the players have the ability that they portray at a more full clip like that, dudes will be losing their mind. Why do you think people going ape nuts over Aaron Rodgers now? And he ain't the main quarterback to be worried about. And dudes worried about him the most. You ain't even seen nobody. And that's what I'm saying. There's wideouts, there's DBs, D linemen, all that. There are many threats to be worried about. And y'all worried about this one man. After he completes 5 passes, like, you ain't gonna have a chance to break up no passes, generate a pass rush, possibly get a sack, possibly bat down any passes he throws prior to that. You're just not gonna have no chance. You're just dead to rights when you play against the Packers, I guess. Then, right? Come on, guys. Man. We cannot be this simplistic with it. We can't be acting like this. This is way too finicky. You know what I'm saying? That stuff's got to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you don't want to evolve and you want to stay in that lane, stay in that lane then. Stay in that lane then. Because if this stuff gets nerfed, I'm looking at you. Whether you say anything or not, I'm going to look at you and be like, nah, you happy? You glad they didn't did this now? They didn't change this and augmented that? You happy about that? See what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying. Like what my man, was that OJ Sims is saying, basically, I want to have to plan for Mac. And you do.
Yeah, you will have to, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You do.
With this caveat, though, so long as they don't touch the pass rush.
Right, exactly.
I just sent that tweet out. That's my daily tweet. If it remains the way that it is, you better believe you won't have to plan for Khalil Mack. I will guarantee you that. But, man, it's really quick, man. Let's throw a round of applause, man, to Antoine as well as Thad Radcliffe for the donations. Definitely appreciate you guys, man. Y'all already know how we feel about that. And before we continue in with the conversation, Alabama, I know you're listening. I'm going to add you to the Skype call here in just a second. Let me say this, man, because, again, this is not self-promotion, man, but it's funny. This always seems to happen, Smitty, when I do a video, either I recently did one or I have one about to release. The same topics come up in our chat when we do this show. So just to let you guys know, man, in case you don't see it, I'm talking about EA's progression, right? And I see a few people in here saying, they took the refs off the field, which I fully agree with you guys on that. That's corny, that's whack. I don't necessarily agree all the way with Clint's explanation. However, I understand on a deeper level what he's saying because, again, Smitty and I know how everything works in that building. But then also I see people saying things like, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't fix that. I guess that doesn't matter. Oh, this game is going to be broken again. Let me just give you guys the quick, harsh reality right now. Just so you can at least understand what you're dealing with every year with Madden. The way you guys need to approach Madden is they need to surprise us. That's how you should be approaching Madden every year. No giant expectation. It should just be, it should surprise you. Let them surprise you. Let them surprise you one year and they done fixed 150 things, which we know that ain't gonna happen. But what I'm saying is, the way you need to approach it This company, in terms of EA Tiburon and those who control the stock of Madden and decide what we're going to allow our guys to work on, how much money we're going to spend, how many resources, those people. Again, if you're new listening to Smitty and I, we're not talking about at the dev level. We talk about the dev level based off of what's in the game, i.e. this. How these traits and all that work out. Oh, we going straight at the devs for that. How the pass rush is implemented now, and the player movement, all that, everything that we know that's in Madden 20. Oh yeah, we at the dev level for that. But when we're talking about things that are being developed, that is or isn't, basically isn't in the game yet, that's at a higher level. So let me get to my point really quick, and then we can continue. Here's the harsh reality. Whoever governs Madden, they move at a very slow pace as far as progression. And the reality is the only thing that we can expect every year is we should be looking to see that the game is continuing to progress. If you are expecting Madden football to take a huge leap in 1 year, you haven't been paying attention. Now, it's not to say that they can't do it, but until they prove us otherwise, and there's another donation that just came in, we got to give a shout out and round of applause really quick to Doobie Taylor. Appreciate it, man. But EA Tiburon, as we can see, they don't move the needle that far. They progress at their pace, which means that we're going to see years of this game slowly churning, slowly but surely, unless there's a culture change. Remember, I told y'all that I've heard this, but I won't go further than that because I need to see more of these things be confirmed. But until that point, we shouldn't be wondering why, oh, they didn't get to this system, oh, they didn't get to that, they didn't fix this, they didn't do that, they didn't give us depth in franchise. Why is that a surprise? Understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying we shouldn't be mad. I'm not saying we shouldn't demand that they change it. I'm not saying any of that because I have to spell this out, Smitty, because when we say these things, people always want to hit you with the, oh, so you just gonna saddle. Oh, you. That's not what I'm saying at all. We supposed to be kicking the door down, pounding the table. But at the end of the day, they're going to move however they want to move. Period. That is period. I don't care how much we scream. They are going to progress the game the way they want to. And the evidence that we have is the last 5 years, this game has moved very slow. 20 seems to be taking more of a leap. 18 and 19, meh, very minimal. So what I'm saying is, all I'm looking for Madden every year is to let me be able to identify progress. I can identify it clearly in Madden 20. Yep. So in Madden 21, I want to have to say the same thing. I want to say the same thing for 22, 23, 24, etc., etc. But the truth is, I still don't expect franchise depth to be crazy next year. Because I know how they move. They'll probably give us some more things. Excuse me. They'll probably add some more things next year, I would imagine. But it probably will be 4 or 5, little things here and there, 1 or 2 key things. That's how they've been moving. So all I'm saying is, why do y'all set yourself up every year to think, oh, this is going to be the year that, they knock it out the park? It's impossible. If it has taken this amount of years for the game to be stagnant and slowly progressing, it's going to take the equal amount of time for it to be great. That's just, to me, it's just common sense. And I'm not clowning nobody or nothing. I'm just saying, I really hate that we do that as a community. We should really by now understand, man, what they doing this year. We shouldn't have no lofty expectations. They should be surprising us with that. Let us wake up 1 year, one release, and we like, whoa, didn't see that coming. That's how I'm approaching it. Because track record tells me, like Smitty just said last week, I believe, they have earned this reputation, and they've even earned it from Smitty and I being in the Game Changer program. Think about it. We on that side of the curtain, and we looking at them with the rock, one eyebrow. Like, Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Let me see it. Because I don't believe that. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying, man. I want people to stop setting themselves up for failure.
See, this is the other thing too, though, to add on to what you're saying there, Sim, as well, is that they have the internal data, they have the numbers, and the reality is that a CFM is the most played mode in the game. Even though all the money that's pumped in through Ultimate Team, but CFM is the most played mode in their game. Even as barren as it's been, it still is the most played mode in the game. So when you factor that in, what Sim is saying is legit. It could move faster, but like you even heard Rex say, oh, I feel that if they're allotted the ability to do so, they can make this game pop in 2 years. They can make this game really leap off the pages and turn it around and really get it right in 2 years' time. But they have to be allowed to do so. And that's just it. So people are buying it. See, look, the way that people are going to feel about these abilities and everything like that, at least I feel, if it's a positive tone, you're going to have even more people buying this game. And then they're going to inevitably jump in and play CFM by default. So, what are you going to do about that? You know what I'm saying? And I've seen somebody say boycott, all that stuff. You throw all that out the window. Now, that don't mean jack squat. Because what the thing is, all the people that are going to say, yeah, let's boycott,
They buy it.
already have this game pre-ordered. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They already got this game ready to download. So that's pointless.
And like I said in the chat, Smitty, if in case you didn't see it, I'll even be honest and tell you, Smitty and I don't count. We have not had to buy Madden since Madden 13. From that point on, obviously with the affiliation, we don't have to buy the game. So I will openly say, you can't include us in that because I'm not paying for it anyway. But most of you guys will not stop buying the game. And be honest with yourselves. If we really could boycott in droves, yeah, it might make a difference. It might not, because don't forget, I don't believe. Let me do round numbers real quick. I don't think there's a million hardcore sim heads like all of us here. Nope, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I doubt that.
It's only a few of us. Yet this game is selling what, 5-6 million a year?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, people, we are beyond the point of boycott because I don't think it's enough of us to where it would really matter. You got to find a different avenue to protest. The money part ain't gonna work. That's just my opinion because they sell too much for us. They can lose all of us and they'll probably gain. Okay, look, watch how many people they probably gain this year off of these abilities.
Yeah,
the casual guys.
Yep. So I'm saying, that's how you move the needle. Look at what NBA 2K's done. The more you bring signature and authenticity and detail and everything else into the game, and then you could take that detail and put it on your character, your avatar from my league and all that stuff. I mean, my career and everything. Yeah, they didn't went from selling around million, just like Madden would do, around that 4 or 5 million copy mark. Now they selling 10 million plus because of doing stuff like that. So the more EA does that, and this is stuff we talked about in the past, the more EA does stuff the right way with the game, yeah, people gonna clown it and all that, but at the same time, the numbers are only gonna rise. So while we sitting up here saying, oh, franchise ain't right and they taking too long to develop it, well, people are still playing it in droves and they're only increasing now. Not only in sales, but people firing up CFM and saying, excuse me, yo, I like these abilities. I want to play franchise mode now. I want to do this, that, and the third. So what do you do to that? And it's not all kids. We always run around kids. It's not just kids, okay? There are plenty of grown adults that I've seen on Twitter say, "Man, I ain't played Madden in X amount of time, but I played this beta and yo, I can't wait to get Madden now." So so it's not always kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, that are in that number. But yeah, like what Sim saying is spot on. And also the other thing too about the franchise stuff, when we look at other games, like
Oh,
someone said MLB the Show with the umpires and all that. Sony kept their consistency with development with their baseball game from PS1 all the way through. From when they switched it, I forgot what they used to call it on PS1, but then they made it MLB The Show, and they continued it on from there. It's been consistent the whole way, the whole time. That's the biggest issue with Madden is that they've had huge lapses in development consistency. We've seen how drastic the game changed going from Gen 2 to Gen 3. Then the game goes to Gen 3 to Gen 4. While that was, there wasn't a drop off, but the problem is that there's too many hands in the pot. Too many people in the kitchen. Because there's what the devs do, and then there's what the people talk about at the end of the day when the game comes out. Remember, Madden 25, dudes on the competitive scene, oh, we got to hold off on tournaments for Gen 4 because this player movement, the game ain't feeling the same. What ended up happening with Madden 15? That player movement was gone. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, we could run down the whole road, but I've already done that. But you see what happens. So these devs spend the time building. So that's why I said Madden 20 would be fire right now if the devs were able to just keep what they originally developed consistent and never had to change anything, or whatever it is they did change did not impact the core integrity of what they built. And that's critical.
it's simple,
hey,
man. And just to move along a little bit, guys, we do have Alabama on the line, and Alabama come in right after I finish this statement. Guys, it's this simple. I keep seeing people say they can. It all comes down to priority at the end of the day. I know people refuse to hear that, but Rex has told you as much. The people over at the top, they don't care the way we do. That is fact. They don't care the way we do. However, I'm hearing there's been some changes, but I'm gonna kind of reserve that because we'll see. Just stay tuned. But that's what it is. Again, last thing I was saying, then Alabama come in. I told you guys on this show, there is a gameplay feature that was supposed to be in Madden 18. It was there when I was there in February. I was ecstatic about it. I was like, yes, Lord, thank you. I get back down there in May, and I'm told, man, we had to cut it. I'm like, what? Come again? Cut what? Not that. Yeah, man, we ain't had the resources to finish it. They got this frostbite and a long shot. I said, man, you kidding me? Yeah, man. It wasn't priority for everybody. So I'm saying, okay, I'm sad. I'm gonna go home and cry. So I figured it would be in 19. Guess what? It won't in 19. So I figured, okay, maybe it'll be in 20. And guess what? Hate to bust y'all bubble. It ain't in 20. Now, here's a quick story. Some of y'all will probably say, well, where is it? Where is it? What is it? I can't tell you. It's probably coming. But this is my point. It's not priority. It wasn't priority when it was in the plans for 18, when they realized they needed to allocate funds and resources elsewhere into use my words carefully here, but I'm going to say it, a stupid idea and long shot, which I told an executive face to face, don't do that. Y'all know what I told them to do? What they're doing now. QB1 should have been long shot. Then. And we would be in the third year of that, and by now, franchise would probably be really crazy. But see, most people don't know that. This was my idea, and I'm not even taking credit for it. And I stood up in that room and I said, hey, if I was y'all, I would have done X, Y, and Z first, which now I see would have been QB1. And now where's long shot? Gone. Out of the picture. Waste of time. But anyway, just to get back to the point. That thing that was supposed to be in the game, gameplay-wise, that I'm telling you most of y'all would have loved. Because I still can't wait to see it. Right? It still ain't there. Because it wasn't the priority then, and they haven't gotten back to it. That's not a dev thing, people. The devs had it in the game in February. It just wasn't in the build that I played. It was a part of the presentation. It was going to be a selling point. And I ain't seen it since. Just listen to us. We tell y'all the truth, man, but y'all refuse to listen. Alabama, what you got, man?
Can y'all hear me, man?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Go ahead, man.
Hey, bud. Man, it's been a long time. I ain't got to talk to y'all in a while, but, man, first off, before I start, thanks them for letting me get a beta code, buddy, for getting to try this game out, man. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
I thank you. But, man, I kind of look at 20 as, well, see, I live in the South, so, like, when you was a child, if your mom or your dad or whoever raised you didn't, or your grandmother or auntie or whatever, didn't want you to touch something, they'd smack you on the hand, right? And Madden 20 is like that, smack the child on the hand moment to get them to stop doing something. So when you do the same thing that you've been constantly doing for 5 to 6 years in a row, and you realize it ain't working, now you got these jokers coming out of the weeds screaming. There is a X Factor ability that nobody is talking about. That one guy has as a quarterback, Russell Wilson. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
This blitz radar, I'm telling y'all right now, if Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers had this, y'all would really scream. Because blitz radar, I played with Russell, and blitz radar ain't no joke. When you can see the defenders coming and you can say, okay, I don't have a shot to make the ball down the field, I'll push that R3 button, throw that ball away. I'll take my shot next time. Because people are not realizing that the defense is coming at such a rate that they don't even understand what's getting ready to hit them here in the next few weeks. And it's a beautiful thing, and I just hope it stays. I want this game to stay. Now, if there's a bug, fine, fix that. But don't be tearing this game apart, because we went through this since 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and you've seen what's happened. And I've been begging the devs to please stop doing this. People have to learn. The skill gap in Madden on the PS2 was way further than what we got now, and people wasn't even complaining at all. Why are they complaining now? And we're talking about grown men who grew up with Madden. So why are you complaining now? That don't make any sense to me. It's like going from, drawing and, getting in a color book with crayons to doing a portrait or a painting like Picasso, and y'all want Picasso to go back to playing with crayons. It don't make no sense at all. I don't get that.
Hey, 205, real quick. Hey, hold on. Before you continue, I just want to read this real quick so that people understand, because y'all, like I said, all these people fretting over Aaron Rodgers. Understand this. X-Zone ability called Blitz Radar. When he enters the zone, he'll see extra blitzers once the ball is snapped. Gamers will see them as highlighted players, almost like a superhero who can see better in the dark with night vision. That gives Wilson the ability to escape the blitz with his scrambling skills. Oh, and which, on top of that, he has his star abilities as well. Escape Artist, which is improved scrambling speed when he's behind the line of scrimmage. There's like also the Dashing Deadeye, which gives him perfect pass accuracy as he's running outside the pocket. And then he also has Agile Extender, which gives him increased ability to get away from a blitzing DB trying for the sack. Now, continue. Go ahead. I just wanted to let that marinate for a moment for all y'all that are worried about Aaron Rodgers. Marinate on that. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
But you see, there's such a dynamic to this game that I love that people ain't talking about. The pump fake. The pump fake ability, everybody can use it. But there's one person that can kill you with it. That could literally kill you with it. And you know what's going to be great? See, this is the thing that I give the devs. Say, guys, Clint, if y'all are listening to the show, which I'm sure y'all probably do one thing for me. There's something that happens with Russell Wilson where he pump fakes as he's running and gets people off and throws the ball.
Yeah. He does that a lot.
And see how many people freak out then. See, this is the thing. And people get mad when I say this, but I failed a lot of times playing Madden the old way because I refused to come out of my simulation way of playing the game because I never wanted to be the guy that got stuck. Like, if the game ever gets to a point to where I start feeling separation of players, which we're getting now, I don't want to be that guy that's left behind 10 steps. I want to be able to say, look, I'll take all these mistakes, throw all these interceptions in places that should be open in Madden 20 that are open. In Madden 19, they wouldn't be. I'd get picked from 10 yards down the field by a jumping linebacker doing 30-yard jumping flips in the air, which made no sense, but whatever. And you know, this game, if you haven't played the beta, which I'm sure that the beta was only given out to a 1% of people that got this beta. Like, I think 500 people may have got it on PlayStation, 500 people got it on Xbox. Might have been a little bit more. But it's like less than a 1% of people that play Madden got this beta. And when they're saying that it's not overpowered, they're not lying to you. It's just that you've not felt it yet. You have to get this game in your hands on the sticks and feel it. Once you feel it, you're going to realize, yep, now I got to get my game up. I got to get my user skill up. I got to reach a higher level of where I thought I was playing. Like, we should get out of this idea of playing Madden and start playing football. We should never be like, well, I can't play Madden because I can't play the way I used to. You should have never been able to play this way. Never. And the bad thing is that we've had this. We've been sitting on crutches for so long. We've been using all these little gimmick plays and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that they won't still be some kind of gimmick or stuff that people find in the game to exploit, but that should get smaller and smaller every year. And if we get a game to where we're having to play a game and the game is somehow like 10-7, that's like a heart-wrenching moment if you lose that game. But this is the thing that I loved about 17 when I got to play Sim and Smitty and AZ and all those guys. We had like real wars. Like even with NY Kia, we would have games that come down to like 3 points or to a point. Somebody would win on a last-second field goal. And me, as being Alabama, I've made mistakes with Tony Romo like Tony Romo did. And throw interceptions that could have got me the game win. But I lost that way. But I refused to come out of trying to make myself better. And I'm not going to say that I know everything about football, but at the end of the day, there should be some consequences and repercussions for stupid stuff that happens. And you shouldn't get away with all these things. And I played with Tom Brady, and I played against Tom Brady. And I'm so scared of Tom Brady. That 4 different hot routes he can set on anybody he wants. And that is scary, like super scary. And there's another, you know, people ain't realizing this, but which I'm going to kind of give this a little bit away, but there's ways that you can combinations. If you have more than just one X-factor player on the field, say you have 2 guys on offense like the Panthers do, you can have where they're using combinations of each other's X-factor abilities. Like with the running back, I can't remember his name, McCaffrey, I think it is. And then you got Cam. Well, as long as McCaffrey's out there, he can have the 4 extra hot routes on the field, just like Tom Brady does. But he only, you know, combinates to the running back. And there's like combos. It's just mix and match. It's kind of like really awesome to see that. And then when you have superstar players on the field, and their abilities are kicking in, but they're not X factors. They're just regular superstars. That's crazy to watch them blink and then start getting really hot because they can start taking over a game. Von Miller is a killer in this game. Von Miller will eat you alive if you were not getting a man on Von Miller. The Texans are a deadly team. I've played with so many different teams. I tried to get as many as I could. I mean, you got JJ and Clowney on both ends. Good luck. good luck. And all I can say is, I mean, what else can you say about these boys? I mean, who's the guy that plays for the Bears? Sim, you know what I'm talking about?
Who,
The
Max?
pass rush?
Khalil
Yeah,
Mack?
Max.
Yeah.
Khalil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Max.
Khalil.
Oh, he's a killer. He's a killer, man. But that's what makes defense fun. This is the first year I felt really confident in defense. If you get a killer, on your team, he can really blow up a team. And there's some teams that don't even have X Factor players. So I'm sure there's going to be people going out there giving half their house away to get an X Factor player if they can.
Yeah.
But, man, appreciate y'all letting me come on the show, man. I hope next time when y'all get y'all ain't have to cut the show short. I can come on, stay a little bit longer, maybe just have a talk. But, man, I'm looking forward to EA Access. I put out a thing today asking people what's their top 10 things they still think Madden needs to add. And there was a lot of feedback. And one of my main things that I'm always going to be talking about is, dynamic weather. I remember we used to have live weather back in the college games, and I thought that was really awesome. I think dynamic weather, since they got the Frostbite engine, I really would love to see that.
And also, since they have, now it seems as if player movement is better now. See, now I'm cool with having dynamic weather as long as when it hits, I want it to affect gameplay. The same way these abilities are affecting gameplay. Now I want to see the dynamic weather do that. Okay, here's more traits that you can add, and I know this is kind of going deep into it. And thanks for calling 205. We got to move on real quick because we only got about 8 minutes. But definitely you're welcome to come on again, man. How about this? Now that they got these abilities, Smitty, now we start getting into, who can throw the ball better when it's wet, or who doesn't crack when they, play outside, when they play in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England, because they used to playing in that cold weather. Green Bay. See where I'm going with it? This is the type of gameplay that needs to complement dynamic weather. And that's what Smitty and I have always said. Get the gameplay able to support those type of things. Until then, it would be great to see, and I'm sure we would love it, but I want it to actually affect the game. Not just be dynamic and random as far as, the weather feed. I want that, plus I want it to have an effect on the game.
And the other thing, too, is talking about indoor impact. There are abilities, I think Drew Brees has it, that's tied to playing indoors.
Yeah, he has that. And Brees has the ability he can get in the zone faster if he's indoors. Yeah. And Roethlisberger, I saw, he also, if he's at home. Which, again,
see,
it's lining up to the real world. Roethlisberger plays better at home. I mean, that's the truth. Take it from me. Take it from the Steeler that does the Steeler podcast and screaming every week about this dude cannot get it done on the road. Last year he was a little better, but the year before that, I mean, Ben just falls apart when he's on the road. I don't understand it. I don't know what has been going on with him the last couple years, and that's accurate. And that's what I'm saying, guys, before we start beefing. Let's give EA credit, and that's what I'm kind of saying in this video that's going to drop it at probably about 10:30. You got to at least acknowledge the progress. We can't turn a blind eye to the progress. Of course, they're not there all the way yet. Of course, if you start talking about franchise, you're really going to make me turn green like the Hulk, because I am pissed off at the lack of attention and progression in that area. But I understand, because I understand how they move in that building. But even with all that said, I still have to acknowledge, wait a minute. This is definitely something that we've been asking for years. They are attempting to do it. Even with the setting, standardizing the throw speeds and all that stuff. Casual fans ain't asking for that. That's a sim thing. So, in my opinion, some of the stuff I'm hearing, some of the chatter that I'm hearing, let me be quiet. I don't even want to put that expectation out there because as soon as I say that, nah, I'm not. I'm gonna give y'all the cliffhanger right there. I will just say this: from seeing what they are attempting to do in 20, it makes me believe some of the stuff that I'm hearing, and I gotta leave it there. I can't go too far with that. But we'll see. And mind you, Smitty and I have not been to EA this year. I have not gone to EA Play. I didn't go to the first event and get the presentation. None of that. None of that. Yet, again, obviously you got relationships, you got resources, so that's why I'm going to shut my mouth because, you do 2 and 2, sometimes people can figure, you know how people get. Oh, well, he must have heard that from so-and-so. You know how y'all do. Sometimes it's y'all asking questions and whatnot, and then people see it, and then they start tying ends together, and I'm like, see, there we go. But I'm just saying, I think I actually told y'all last week, I heard some things have changed, and when I saw 20, I said, oh, maybe what you said was right. Okay, all right, let's sit back and see. So that's all I'm saying, man. We got to acknowledge at least the progress that they are attempting to make. They are trying to separate these players and make them feel different. Oh, I know one thing I wanted to comment on, Smitty, and then I'll definitely give you the last word.
Yeah.
I saw a guy in here. I want to find his name. OJ Sims. He was saying that he feels like some of these X Factor abilities should just be their ability. They shouldn't have to be, unlockable and things like that. We could all, that's a good argument. I don't think nobody's right or wrong in that case. I think what they're going for, though, is replicating a guy getting hot during the game.
Right.
And I think that's just what it is in a nutshell. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at saying, uh-oh, Brady's on the street. Because Brady has bad games, too.
Yeah.
So I think the only way for them to make us feel that is they have to allow these guys to get in a zone, or as they progress through the season, they unlock this other superstar ability. I'm cool with that. That's just me personally. But what you got, Smitty? Take us home, man.
Yeah, no, I'll just say this. Like we talked about the franchise stuff, and even from the Mike Young article, I was not expecting from that they're gonna have it all in 1 year. I said back then, like, what was that, 2 months ago, whatever, I said then, it's gonna take them a minute to build. So I already know that, but that's at the pace of what EA decides to do. But I will say this, though, like I said, we're going to wrap the show up. So I'll say this. Listen, people are going to have to adapt, and they're going to have to evolve their game. Simple and plain. I've said it for the longest time. I've said it across the board. I've said it for many years over. Folk got to adapt. Folk have to adjust. A lot of people co-sign with it, but now that it's happening, and it's not happening the way they like, because they're getting pulled out their comfort zone. Now it's a problem. No, it's not a problem. It's not a problem with the game. They don't need to do anything special to it. You have to adapt. The Aaron Rodgers ability. I just said what we just said a few moments ago. What Russell Wilson's abilities are. Look at some of the stuff he got going is going to supersede Aaron Rodgers to a degree. And we worried about him because we worried about having to user the secondary or the AI or whatever and how they react or don't react. So it's a problem. It's not a problem. It's just that when a player gets into a zone, that you have to adjust how you play. And like I said before when I did my Periscope about this the other day, you have multiple ways to stop these guys. All of these guys have multiple ways to be stopped. So, like, at the end of the day, if you're that concerned about playing, and I'm just saying any of the quarterbacks, if you're that concerned about playing a particular quarterback, going up against a particular corner, playing up against a certain receiver, or D lineman, you better adapt and adjust. I don't want to hear any of that garbage about, but it should be like this because no. You have to adapt and adjust. Seriously. Because like I said before, I don't care who it is. I don't care how much I've known you or how cool we are or whatever. If the shoe fits, you wearing it. And if I hear you talking that talk, I'm going to say something. I don't care if it gets you mad or not. Because at the end of the day, everybody was co-signing before these moments happened. Now that the moment's here, okay, take ownership of it. No cowering out. Don't moonwalk out of this now. Don't do all that moonwalking now. No, walk forward. Walk forward, press on, move up, do whatever it is that needs to be done, and just get better at the game. We should have to evolve our skills. Isn't that the point of these games? That's what happens when you put out new editions of these games. Look at Mortal Kombat 11, and I'll say this. If we approach Mortal Kombat 11 the same way we approach Mortal Kombat 1, we earn the right to lose every single match we ever encounter. Because it doesn't make a lick of sense why Mortal Kombat 11 should play the same way as Mortal Kombat 1. That makes no sense at all whatsoever. You should have to adapt and adjust to the way the game has evolved over time if you expect to be hanging and banging with everybody else. EA made an ability to reward user skill and say, hey, click onto this guy. So for everybody that's concerned and worried about, oh, my linebacker is in the path to make the play and he didn't pick it, click onto him and pick the ball off. That's all you got to do. All right? And for people that have been asking about footage, you can't showcase the footage from the beta.
You
cannot do that. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Just don't. Okay?
Matter of fact, don't even acknowledge that you captured it.
Yeah.
Trust me on that.
Even better. So no, you can't do that. But that's it, man. That's all I got, bro.
That's it, man. And sorry, guys, for it being a short show tonight, man. I actually liked how the hour went. I think we got right to the point. We said what we had to say. And, we'll be back perhaps next week if there's more to talk about. This is kind of a slow period. So like we said, if there's things to talk about, we'll definitely keep the show going. But until, we get into that nitty-gritty of the Madden season and the other sports games dropping and footage starts coming out, we don't have a lot to discuss. But follow us on Twitter. That's how you will know if the show is going to go on, if we're not going to be there at 8, if it'll be an hour show, etc., etc. And shout outs to Mo, man. We got an EA dev in the building. And, at the end of the day, I will say this last thing, and then we'll be out of here. I'm not trying to get people to like the Aaron Rodgers thing or like the trade. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. That's fine. But my only point is I just feel like we have to take a step back and try to realize how else are they going to replicate some of these things in the video game world. I get it. Oh, the ratings should matter, and you telling me, and I saw my guy sit with it, said, you telling me Ramsey can't pick it off because he's in his. But again, how are we going to replicate Aaron Rodgers getting in the zone? And it's only for a short amount of time. Like, y'all are acting like this is the whole game. It's very easy to knock him out of the zone, and it's very easy to stop him from getting in the zone. This will only happen if he gets in the zone. And again, how rewarding is that going to be? Especially a guy like Kia who loves playing the free safety. I'm just saying, just accept the immersion. Play it when it comes out for you guys who are going to get the game or rent it or whatever, and, see how it feels first. That's all I'm saying. And, if you like it, you do. If you don't, you don't. No big deal. But all right, man, we out of here. I got to get myself ready for this commute. I do see, shout outs to my guy, Caleb, man, the commish. He's in here. Okay. Let me promote what he said. And I'm going to say right now, we're very strict. So if any funny business, you will be removed. But he did say that it looks like we're going to have 3 open spots for the SSR, Sim Standard Radio League. I'm going to make a decision here, and I'm sure the other administrators, I'm thinking like I'm at work, the other commissioners won't mind. Listen, Smitty is one of the founding fathers. So if Smitty decides that he wants to play in the league, I think we're going to keep a spot open for him. So there you go. So right now we got 3, but again, I'm gonna be honest in saying if Smitty wants to jump back in the race, only thing is, Smitty, I think the Lions are already taken. But regardless, if Smitty wants to jump back into the league, I'm sure we're gonna be like, look, no disrespect, but we gotta let the man get in and rock. But if anybody else, hit up Azure on Twitter. He's the main commissioner at AzureEffect. But be about your business. Don't be funny. Follow the rules, or you'll get the boot. So there you have it. But all right, man, we out of here. We'll catch you guys next week. Maybe not. But either way, y'all can catch us on Twitter. Have a good night, good weekend, and God bless. Catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.